Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's edition of Beyond the Ordinary Show. Today, y'all, we're speaking with Dr. Lisa Thompson about integrating galactic awareness into your human light, into your human life and light. Oh my God, it's both. And what if you don't have galactic awareness? What if maybe that's just not something that's resonating for you? Or what if you have glimmers of it, or it's so much that it's like you can't stop it from coming in and you don't know what to do with it? And we're going to actually cover the gamut of all of that in different ways because the truth is that there's an intelligence that we're connected to that has the potential when the light is pointed in the right direction to really elevate your understanding and capacity to hold fields of frequency that you're ready to carry forward. And it's by shedding light on those dark spaces of where perhaps we're innocently ignorant or we haven't been exposed to something in a way that really brought forward the gift that's available there. Or we've been exposed to something, but it's been not with the highest information possible for you. And we're here to land that all in the middle with Lisa and to really bring forward what is available to you, not just so you can have galactic awareness, but what you do with that in this human form. What is that relationship that we're building that is truly supporting us to expand our consciousness and to land in the center of the benevolence of the beautiful hearts that we all truly are and what we want, not only for humanity, but for our individual lives and what we know that we're here to experience in truth and in that expansion. So it's going to be an amazing call with Lisa. But Lisa is a multi-dimensional guide. She's a galactic ambassador and multi-dimensional channeler. She communicates with 13 higher dimensional ET races. I wouldn't be surprised if that's gone up to like 20 now, but we'll keep it at 13 according to the bio. Um, and there's just a lot of transmission that Lisa has available for us if we just pause and listen and we run the circuitry and communicate with one another in this particular way. So it's a gift to have Lisa on. I hope that you all sit back, relax, really take in what's being shared. We'll open up to Q&A a little bit later. And Lisa's special offer is quite special. There's an opportunity to have a one-on-one session with her, which I highly recommend. And what she's bringing forward in the first package also is just it opens up worlds that are available to us through the embodiments and the awareness that Lisa brings through. Um, so Lisa, with that, welcome back to BTO. It's so good to have you on here.
It's always great to be with you, John. Thank you.
Hmm. To start us off, tell us a little bit more about your connections to these 13 races and how that comes through you, and then how that helps the people that you're helping.
Okay, so if you ever would have told me, even when I was having my experiences as a kid, that I would fully understand how ET I really am, I would have told you you're crazy. And we all have these aspects of ourselves. I first got to meet myself as an Arcturian back in October of 2018. And when
Hmm.
I met this Arcturian Uluru, I had no clue that it was me. I just thought, okay, there's this blue being. It's this pure love. The message was, you are me, I am you, like we are one. And it wasn't until 2022, so, several years later, that when they wanted to start channeling through me, and I had hesitation with that just because of the channeled school that I grew up in, the Ramtha school. So I had some hesitation, but then I relaxed into it. And then I realized, okay, this is just me. I'm just channeling myself from this higher realm. And I was already doing healing work. And I acknowledged, okay, that is me, and I'm a master healer in that realm, then that energy from that realm channeled even stronger through me as Earth Lisa. So it was coming through my sessions with my clients. My light language got turned on, particularly through my hands. And then once I was used to running that energy, because it's very different running high frequency energy than just being normal Earth, reality here. beginning of 2023, that's when they were like, okay, it's time to bring in your other groups. And so I didn't know what that was going to entail, but I wrote the names down of these groups. I set aside time to lead 13 sessions, channeling the 13 higher dimensional galactic realms. And when I was doing that, what I realized, which made it so much easier, was that, okay, these really are just aspects of myself that I can tap into these realms. We all have the ability to tap into these realms and to receive this information. Now, that was a process of me understanding, though, because since I was maybe in my late 20s, that's when I started learning about really the multidimensional aspect of who we are. When I was 13, that's when I started understanding about that we create our reality. Very different than understanding how multidimensional we are. And so it was really theory until 2022, 2023, where I was really tapping into these parts that then became way more integrated. And particularly Arcturian Uluru became so integrated within me as Earth Lisa. I don't even have to like think about it. It's just always there.
Mm,
And so what it's done for me is it has given me the ability truly to see things from their perspective and to channel this higher dimensional energy for my own healing because I'm still earth human. I still go through health issues occasionally, but then also for my clients and for humanity. And so it's been really a beautiful shift over the last 4 or 5 years in working with this energy because where I used to be I was highly polarized. I was an activist, like I was really in the nitty-gritty of earth reality. And now I can really see things from that higher perspective, truly, and come from a place of love and compassion for humanity and hold a different frequency than I used to
mm.
be able to do.
Beautiful. How do you discern the information that's coming in, if it's really benevolent or if it's maybe trying to manipulate a particular outcome that wasn't necessarily seeded in you?
Well, that's a really great question because I have had once or twice some lower, not great energies come through.
Hmm.
And really, it's what is the message about? Is it fear-based? Is it controlling? Is it trying to manipulate something? Or is it truly coming from a place of love? And so for me, all of the beings that I work with, that I integrate, that I communicate with are fifth dimension and higher, where love really is the basis of everything. I don't want to deal with anything polarized. There's already way too much fear and polarization here in this earth realm. And there are channelers who are willing to pull in that information and it
Mm,
sells. It makes a lot of money because people love that division. But that's not what I'm here to do. And so for me, learning number one, how to get myself into a place to have that higher dimensional communication, that's the key. That's first and foremost. The important step for anyone who's trying to connect is to raise your own vibration so that then they can match that
mm.
vibration.
Beautiful. So we're talking today about integrating galactic awareness into everyday human life. How do we discern what's the essence of that galactic awareness? How do we know it's galactic awareness to even begin to integrate it into human life?
Okay, well, and um, some of my clients are they come to me because even if they've never experienced anything galactic before, they're just naturally drawn to that energy because
Mm,
it's a little bit different than the angelics. Um, the Arcturians are closer to the angelic feeling, but a lot of the other ET groups feel very different in their frequency. And so people who come to me, they are ready at some level
mhm,
to experience this because otherwise they wouldn't be here. And even if it's not necessarily galactic, and I don't know how much you want to go into your session, but
We can
really,
totally go into it. Yeah, we had
yeah,
Ascended Masters coming in very
we
strongly. Yeah.
did. And some people have even said that Yeshua, Jesus, is Arcturian or
I've heard that also.
Andromedan or, like whatever. And so it ultimately doesn't matter how we categorize these beings.
hmm
No, not really. Because it can be very tribal, like, well, I channel angels, well, I channel galactics. It's like we can channel all of them and we are all of them. We're all connected. And so, really, for me, that's just the way that I came in to be as Earth Lisa, to be this galactic ambassador, because I what I'm understanding now is we are really at a critical time in Earth's history where within our lifetime, some people say within the next year or two, but within our lifetime, I do believe that we are going to have mass open contact with some of our galactic family here on Earth. And so part of this journey that I'm on is to help people understand number one, they are your family. This is part of who you are. And that helps get over any fear because there's so much fear about ETs in the galactic realm because of Hollywood, all the movies they've put out over the years. And even the government, now that they're saying, yes, it's real, but then they're still spinning it. We have to perceive this as a threat. Well, why do we have to perceive it as a threat? They could have done something to us, taken over Earth a long time ago, if that was their agenda. But really, it is about us being here to be Earth human and remember who we are. Because when we go through the tunnel of forgetfulness and when we're born, we forget how connected to everything we are and how we really are one with everything and we're infinite beings. This feels so real. And it's not that it's not real, but it's kind of not real too. It's a game.
Well, for me the way that I intellectualize the process of that type of disclosure. It's the same way that we may channel or have a psychic intuitive hit or feel our guides around. It's an energetic match in a
Mhm.
vibrational tone that then illuminates something that couldn't be seen before. So the fear, the dense energy around some of it, it's just it's the galactics are surrounding us. We're receiving information. They're in our plants. It's like we're experiencing them in so many different ways. It's just we don't have the being in the suit behind you that's appearing and saying, "Look, I'm real." But it's the disclosure has already begun. The communication is already being facilitated, and we're as many of us are focusing specifically on these ascensionary energies, knowing that we're working and flexing muscles to expand our capacity in consciousness, we're getting to those places where we can hear and translate and be with that information and that benevolence with much greater ease without so much resistance.
Yeah, well, and a lot of it's interesting because a lot of the clients that I've worked with over the years with this, they have a lot of fear just within themselves, like
Mhm.
shadows, the darkness within. And even with doing past parallel life regression, some people are afraid of what lives might come up. My husband who passed away, he would never let me regress him because he was so afraid he would experience a life as a Nazi. And I'm just like, well, that's probably because you were like,
Mm.
and so really when we start addressing, okay, how infinite we are more than just this one earth life. We have all the experiences, the things that we would perceive good or bad or ugly, or, we are all of it. And the more that
Mm.
we can understand that and take away the judgment of it, take away any guilt or shame of it within this life or other lives. And I have a client I worked with earlier today that she had massive guilt from the life that we went to, and she was an ET, and she's like, I was not doing great things.
Mm,
Right? And she, but in this life, she's a huge activist for human rights. And so for her, it was kind of the balancing of that pendulum. And I think that that is why that life came up for her today, because she needed to understand, okay, oh, I was this, now I'm being this, but now there's somewhere to integrate that polarity in the middle
mm.
and to be
That's beautiful.
neutral to it.
Wow. Wow. So let's get more into again what it means to integrate galactic awareness into everyday human life.
Okay, so when we start working with the energies from these realms, really they understand things from a much different perspective. And
Mm,
yes, there are ETs that are polarized, but we're talking about the higher dimensional ones that are no longer polarized, that can really just observe and have this pure love, compassion, empathy, be in total harmony with nature, their environment, with other beings, having no judgment of what things look like, other beings, what they look like. And so for me, that has been probably the biggest thing for me integrating the galactic awareness into my own personal life is really loving the biodiversity here on Earth and beyond. Really, truly, even though we might not like or prefer what is going on in the world or in our communities, even in our life, everything is a choice. And we talked about that right before we got on live.
we did, yeah.
It's a choice. Everything is a choice. And really all experiences, and this is going to be hard for some people to hear and understand, but everything is neutral. It's just what perception we have of that, because you know again, in the polarized reality, each side thinks that they are right. Their perception is that their beliefs, their actions are the right actions,
Mm,
and they're all correct. They're all neutral. It's just that perception. And I know that people who really are here to be very in this polarized thing, they don't like that kind of answer. They don't like that
mm,
information. And it can take a while to process and to really understand, but that is part of the work that I help people with, is just clearing out that debris, clearing and really understanding that, okay, yes, you and these parallel realities, whether it's galactic or on Earth or wherever it is, you have done these things and you gained wisdom. And now you're over here doing a different way to understand it from this perspective. And, that's really what we're here to kind of play around with as souls, is
mhm,
these different perceptions, these different experiences. And so they're in the higher perspective with these galactics, especially the ones that I have integrated, is there is no good or bad. There is no right or wrong, truly. And again, if you would have, even 6 years ago, 5 years ago, did I believe that? No, I had huge judgments. I was highly polarized.
mm.
And so it's been a process for me to
Well,
really step back.
how do you come to resolution on an extreme example if there's an adult imposing themselves on a very small child and harming them? Can it not be good or bad in reference to that? And saying that it's a soul agreement seems like a bypass.
Okay. And it does seem like a bypass, and maybe in some people's perspective it is a bypass. In mine
Mhm,
it's not. Because one of the things that, again, that I do help people understand is their soul contract agreements. And so, and I'll use my mother as an example. She has passed, so I get to talk about her life freely now. So her father, my grandfather, he sexually molested my mother from age 7 to 12.
Mm,
So she was in that kind of a situation. And she totally repressed it until her 30s. And when she remembered, um, she accused him. She did all the things. She accused my grandmother for not protecting her. My grandmother completely denied it. But my grandmother was also checked out with alcohol and pills. And
mm.
so, really, like, not wanting to engage. And so, and what I have done a lot of healing work around in our family is resolving that of like, okay, you two played a role for each other. Like you, for whatever reason, wanted to come in and experience that reality. He wanted to play that role for you. And we all have been the murderer. We all have been the tyrant. We've all been in the victim position. And so I know it does.
It gets hard. It gets hard because if you're at the grocery store and you see an adult really abusing a child, do you say, "Oh, it's their soul agreement," and you move on, and you don't bring in a shift of energy or perspective that can maybe dim down the suffering that's being caused?
Oh yeah, no, and I'm not saying we don't speak out. I'm
Right.
at all,
But if
or
there's no right or wrong, how do we, it's like, what's our
well,
moral standpoint at that point, right? It's such a
right.
difficult conversation.
Well, no, it really is. It's very deep. And some of us are here to play that role, to be the advocate
Hmm.
for the child or the person. And we just, like, for me, I used to feel like it was my job to speak out and to be that kind of advocate for
You
the,
were the advocate. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. And now I have former, well, people in my circle, um, who in the last year have asked me, like, or told me they expect me, you need to speak up about this. You need to use your voice
Hmm.
for our side. And I'm like, yeah, that's not my job. And I can't anymore because I see it from a very different perspective than I would have.
Yeah. Yeah, the only side to take is inside, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And so for those who are still very passionate, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Like there is no right or wrong. If that's what you're here to do, we do need those kind of people on those soul journeys who might be making shifts in
Hmm.
this timeline, but all timelines are existing simultaneously.
Hmm.
So that, like you said, the more that we do the deep inner work on ourselves, then we're shifting to a reality where maybe things are better. Things are not as like polarized like that or extreme.
Hmm. Yeah, it's amazing what gets facilitated through our consciousness and how we show up. But there's there's our individual orchestration and there's this divine orchestration that's taken place. And we don't know and understand what's playing out in these multiple other experiences. But we can align with, again, the awareness
Hmm.
that, again, ascended masters, the galactics are bringing into us so that we can calibrate to the core of our essence, our soul truth, if you will.
Yeah.
And from that, we're following a path that is in alignment with that, again, the galactics and these other intelligence are trying to help us to navigate from a more empowered, enlightened way.
Yes. And again, because we are still kind of toddlers here in our
Hmm.
reality in this game, this avatar that we're playing, we came here to be these toddlers to be like, oh, I now remember I am more than just this one physical reality. And then that's when the inner work really starts. And
Hmm.
that's where then we can, again, we can clear our own debris away. We can start raising our vibration to be our own lights. And then when we are the lights, then we're the light for our community. We're the light for our state, for our country, for
Hmm.
Earth. And
Yeah.
then we can be very clear to receive all the information that's always there, whether it's
Mhm.
from galactics or angelics or from source, from higher self. And so understanding again that all of these things are existing and we all have the ability to tap into it.
Mhm.
And if someone is called to, great. Not everyone here, we can't force it.
Right.
And
Again, choice. Choice comes up again.
it
Yeah.
is. And I'm never here to convince anyone of anything. I'm just here to share information and plant seeds. And, you know, when I come on shows like this or I teach online or any of working with my clients, it's like even if there's one little shift, reframing that someone can have to
Hmm.
understand it just a little bit more expanded, then awesome.
Right.
I've done my job.
I agree. I agree. So there's galactic aspects that are showing up and an opportunity to embody those aspects. Ca- Can you give us an example of what those aspects might be?
Okay, so we have up to and maybe even more 22 different ET races in our DNA.
Hmm.
And so they really are our family and the so-called junk DNA. Really, it's not junk, it's just our latent DNA, this ET DNA that is ready whenever we're at the right frequency to activate it, to bring it online. And this enhances all the different clair abilities, our telepathy, our telempathy, remote viewing skills, all the things that we naturally have within us. We have all these superpowers. And so when we start bringing that energy into us, our awareness, because we have to be aware of it first and foremost, when we become aware of it, then one of the processes I help people do in the one-on-one sessions is I help them integrate it to embody that aspect of themselves so that it really does fully go into every cell of their body. It starts activating that latent DNA, and then they come out with more wholeness. I mean, we're always whole, but we have these, what feels like very separate aspects of ourselves. And the more of them that we can consciously reclaim, I'll say, um, then the more powerful our Earth human experience is, the more that we can really then make those choices consciously and truly create our reality in a way that we desire instead of
Mhm.
just being passive, players in the
Th-
game.
There's so much to share in this just from personal experiences, even experience I had today. But quite a few years ago, when I first moved to Hawaii, I had these different races appearing to me, and they came in waves. And I wasn't a galactic person before. I knew other people were having conversations about this. It was probably about 10 years ago. It was like amazing. I'm not having that experience, but wonderful. It's like I'm in my Christed light experience, right? But then it started trickling in and trickling, and I had a wave of Syrian energy, a wave of Pleiadian energy, like Turian and last Lyrian. And it was undeniable the different aspect, the characteristics, the something that got activated in me through whatever that particular lineage carried as a collective, if you will.
Yeah.
And it was profound. It shifted everything, and my connection to everything balanced in such a way that was extraordinary for me today. And I'm sharing this just because I want you all to open, if you're already open to it, maybe open even more. If you're not sure, and Lisa's going to share an experience with a client here that she had today, I think also. Uh, but in my experience, I met someone at the beach and we sat down, we're having a conversation. She's very galactically oriented. That's why I was like, oh, I want to be friends with her. And didn't say anything. It's like, there's something about you, and I typically don't project in that way. But we were hanging at the beach and we decided to go into meditation. And we sat for 22 minutes. And at the end, she's like, "Oh my God, that was amazing." And so it's like, all right, share what came up for you. And I already had my experience, and now I couldn't wait to share, but I was curious what she was going to say. It's like, I went up, I felt this energy swirling, and I was shown four different parts of my galactic self from different races that were showing up, and they kept presenting themselves. And there was something that was integrating in that. And so she finished telling the story of the meditation. Um, and I shared mine. I said, well, went into meditation. I felt this swirl of energy surrounding, like cocooning us in. And I went up and you were introducing me to your different races of galactics. It's like, no way. It's like, yes. It was so alive, Lisa. It's like
Yes.
it's like unmistakable of what that energy is.
Yeah. I mean, it's people, I know some of the normies, the 3D people are like, these people are batshit crazy. Like,
Yeah.
but even I was having a conversation with my dad today, and my dad, when I was a teenager, when I would tell him about my experiences, he thought I was crazy. And now today he's 80 and he's like, I don't get all of it, but he's like, there's more out there. And he's like, even if I don't believe everything that you believe, I believe you believe it, and it's really real for you, and you're so happy doing it.
Well,
It's
it's not even a belief because
no,
my
yeah,
experience wasn't a belief. It was a direct experience that
yeah,
keeps replicating. And
right.
and a direct experience that keeps replicating eventually becomes science. It just
Yes.
does.
Well, it does. Yes, sure. For sure. And and this is, I just shared that just for the people who are like, is it real? Because
Yeah.
even in my client sessions are like, okay, I feel like I'm just making this up. And I'm like, just go with it. Like, really,
Hmm.
just go with it. Because the more that you work with the energy, the more that you go there, the more real it actually, you understand that it's real. You're
Right.
seeing it, you're hearing it, you're feeling it. It's like, we all can go there.
We're getting a little off topic, but I want to continue
Okay.
staying off topic because this is so good. Y'all, we're going to get into Q&A. You can ask Lisa personal questions if you want to raise your hand or type your question into the chat box. I may even ask you to read into my galactic field because it was so alive, but we'll do it in a little bit if you're open to it. But before we do any of that, will you share about the experience you had with a client who had never experienced any of this work before and what was
Okay.
coming through?
Yes. Okay. So earlier today, I had a client who came to me who she had been told by someone a while back that she had some ancient galactic guide, and that was
Mm.
it. She's like, I don't, do I? Do I don't even know if I do. I've never connected with this being. I have no idea who they are. I don't know if it's real. And she had never done any kind of regression hypnosis work before. She had a lot of fear. She thought I was just going to tell her things. And I'm like, nope, I'm here to actually help you really experience it.
Mm.
And, and that's one thing that some people who just want to be told, it's great.
Mm.
Yes, we can be told things, but then it's still external to us. It's not, we can process it, but not to the degree where, like you today, you're like, wow, yeah, that was real. Right.
Mhm.
And so we got her into the session and she had some fear coming up. And so we got through the fear and she fully, like, it was just supposed to be meet your galactic family or guide, but she fully went into her own, like a different body. She was an ET. She was actually Arcturian, she thinks, which she didn't even know that name. But in the session, one of the people that she was having conversation with in this body, she asked him, like, what's my name? And they're like, you're an Arcturian. And so she didn't know.
Wow.
Right. And so then she's looking down at her hands and they're blue, and she's fully feeling this body, and her physical body was trembling with the frequency because it was real. But what she it was is very interesting because in that life she was doing things because it was her job. She didn't know any better, and she ultimately she was like, I don't like what I did in this life. Like, I don't
Mm.
like what I was doing, who I was being, and what I was just following along. of doing what I was told to do. And so when she came back out of that, then we were talking about, she was sharing how she is an activist in this life. And so then we were able to talk through because she's like, I have so much guilt for that life.
Mm,
And so it's interesting because, yeah, we can carry guilt and shame and other things from other lives that seep into this life that hold us back. And so for her, she was got to see that life and was feeling the guilt. It was right at the surface. So then we talked through how she could help release that, and that to understand, okay, now she's here to be this other pendulum, but now then she was like, okay, now I feel like I can come back maybe more to that center to be just a little, instead of fighting against as the activist, now I don't have to demolish. I can still be
mm,
an activist, but I can hold it in a place of like love and coming from a more empowered place.
mm,
And so for her, that was quite profound because she did not come into the session thinking anything like that was going to happen. And then also when she was telling me that she'd never done this before and that never experienced, but she saw me on a thing and signed up and didn't know why. But I
mm.
had no idea where we were going to go in that. And
Wow.
the sessions, I mean, different, it's incredible because even over the last 2 months, I've been doing a lot of the one-on-one meet your galactic family or guide sessions. And I've started asking a new question of, is it family guide or aspect of yourself? And
Mm,
80% plus of my clients are realizing now, oh, that's an aspect
hmm
self, which then when they realize that, that's when we're able to do the integration, the embodying work.
mm.
When it's still separate, you can try, you can start working that, but they're not fully ready to accept it yet until they realize, oh, that's me.
Right. Oh, it's powerful. I'm so glad you're asking that.
Me too. It just
Yeah.
like, it just, that was a channel thing because I didn't ever used to ask that.
Mm,
And it,
amazing. And again, to clarify, you're guiding people through a hypnosis state, basically.
yeah, it is. It is. It's not me because a lot of people, they're like, oh, I thought you were just gonna tell me. I thought you were gonna be the one, like, and I'm like, no, I'm here to, you get to experience
You
it.
get to hold the field of potential in it,
Yes.
for sure.
I'm a guide. I'm just asking
Hmm
questions. I'm getting you there and
Well, you're an
making,
antenna.
right. And I'm making
Yeah,
the introduction.
right.
I'm the ambassador that way, the galactic ambassador.
Do you notice things and see things energetically or intuitively as to what's occurring in those sessions?
I do. I do. And it's interesting because even though, again, we're doing like galactic stuff, Jesus, Yeshua keeps coming through.
Hmm.
And
Wow.
they'll be like, I'm like, hey, so, coming in from the side. And I'll be like, oh, you're here again. And then they'll
Hmm.
be like, oh, who is it? And they're like, oh, why? It's Jesus. Why is Jesus here? And even one lady the other day, she was like, I have really she didn't tell me it was Jesus yet. She's like, I have really mixed feelings about who's here. And I was like, I knew it was Jesus. And she's like, I'm like, who is it? And she's like, it's Jesus. I just laughed because yes,
Hmm.
there are going to be sometimes I'll feel the energies as I'm leading the session. So I'll kind of know like, oh yes, the Pleiadians are here or the Arcturians or, the
Right.
Lutons.
No,
And
my session was pure. It was Christed energy. It was so
what?
deep and it was so powerful. I'm due for a session with you, so I'm signing up and I'm scheduling a call with you because I feel like there's an expression that sometimes we can be this trying to discover that expression and we're like, I can feel something, but it's not for whatever reason taken form. And I find that when I'm with someone like you who can hold an aligned space and
Mhm.
hold that vibrational container without an expectation of what it's supposed to be, In other words, allow it to manifest in its purity rather than to force it,
Hmm.
that something profound is possible to be made aware of.
Yeah.
And in the session, it's just like it's like the seas parted and there's like everything, right? It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Well, and I agree. And I love having my own sessions done too. Like I do
Mhm.
the work for people, but I like having the work done.
Right.
All right.
Because we all support each other. It's not a solo journey. And that's why I love
Oh,
having these calls and do the special offers because
yeah.
there's things that move the needle when we're in communion with other people.
Yes,
It just
definitely.
does.
Well, and that's actually having a session done on me by, someone external doing it. That's where I was fully able to then incorporate my Syrian genetic engineer side. And I
Mm,
mean, I'm a scientist in this life, but I realized, oh wow, I am like a scientist throughout the universe in so
mhm.
many different ways. So no wonder I had to do science here in this life first.
Right. Right. Makes sense. Makes
Yeah.
sense. All right. I want to get into a special offer in a little bit, but I kind of want to give a sample of a little bit of what a live reading might be or a live Q&A. What are some type of questions that you like receiving that would be appropriate for today's call or that we have ample time to dive into?
Oh, that's a good question. So I am curious for the audience, and thank you everyone who's here.
Mm,
Um, Thank you so much. I am curious if people have had some kind of experiences where they're like, what was that? Like maybe it
mm.
sound or ringing or dream. I had a client yesterday who he's gotten ET's coming in his dream state, but in his awake state, he won't even be regressed.
Oh,
He's
wow.
a big wall, but he's like, but in my dream state, and he really did have a big wall. Uh,
Interesting.
yeah, it's very interesting. So number one, if there's any like fear around it, but also if people have had any kind of like awareness that they're curious and want to understand maybe deeper.
Well, I want to understand something.
Yeah.
I want to know what your awareness is around my question. Um, so again, connecting to the galactics and the meditation and seeing that was wonderful. But the way that I'm in the past that I was used to connecting, like going into breathing and having ascended master shows up and feeling an energy and absorbing, it's like it's not there in the same way anymore. I feel much more normal instead of
Mm-hmm.
out here. And I'm curious if the Galactics, or maybe even the Ascended Masters, if anyone comes through, has anything to share about what may have shifted. Am I repressed? Am I opening to more? Is it more embodied? Is it because I'm in a dormant stage as I'm embodying what came through before? It could be all of those. I don't know. Yeah.
It's all of it. And
Yeah.
based on the session that you and I had, you are definitely becoming way more embodied in all of this
Hmm.
information coming into you. And so when that starts working at that cellular DNA level, then you're open even more to all of it. And so the body, the nervous system can handle the energy in a very different way than it
Hmm.
does when you're first starting to do this kind of work.
Right.
And I know that that's one big thing is that nervous system regulation. That's why like breathing can be really important, right? And that centering, that grounding. But when you really start just fully opening up to it, then it's just like, oh, hi.
Yeah.
Okay, it's
It
there.
becomes an aspect of self rather than something
Yeah,
separate. It's so familiar that it's just
yeah,
you can't help but to be it because it's
right.
embodied.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thank you. That helps relax. It always helps to receive the validation and to get the feedback because something is like, "Ah, I can relax and to receive even more, or I feel understood, or I feel someone gets me." It's like when we talk at these types of conversations, y'all, to have someone authentically receive you and say, I understand me too. It's huge, right?
It
It's
is
huge.
huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's actually one of the things that we really, m- I'm not going to say everyone, but most people need that validation. And
Hmm.
so even me, even though I've had self-validation through different experiences, when I've gotten that external validation of other people are like, oh yeah, that's real, or ooh, I know you. And then they tell
Yeah.
me, and I'm like, oh my God, you see me, you know me. Thank you.
Well, it's interesting enough because this was part of the conversation I had at the beach also. We talked that she asked me, when did you know about your gifts? When did you open it? It's like, well, I always had them,
Mhm.
but I never shared them with anybody because I don't think anybody would really understand. I thought it was just for me. I didn't know to say, hey, I just saw this thing, or I just had this thing that happened 5 minutes later. And I just, there was no context in my cultural environment for that type of sharing. And
Yeah.
so I just keep it to myself. I didn't know how to process it. But then when other people start showing up and then we start, it's like, wait, hold on a second. There's something here.
Yeah. Well, and that's why, like for me, when my mom, she's like, you really want to be the UFO lady? I'm like, I guess so. That's what I'm here to do now. Because I
Mm.
played normal for so long. She was like, really? And even though she's the one who introduced me to Ramtha and all of that, it's like, she's like, you really want to do this? Yep, I do. And the beautiful thing is when we do step fully into our authentic self and being like, here I am, and all of our
Mm.
weirdness, our uniqueness, our beautifulness, others then can come to the conversation with us, right?
Hmm.
And we start coming together and being able to communicate in a way that we,
Yeah. Yeah. And y'all, again, we're going to get Q&A in the special, but the special offer, it's going to bring you into a place where you learn even better communication with yourself and that guidance and what's coming through in the benevolence that's being shared from realms that are not necessarily from the dimension in which we're used to existing in, which is amazing what's coming through. So we're going to get into the special offer in a little bit. The link's in the chat box if y'all want to start checking it out. But I want to go to some Q&A first. And Jill, I want to start with you, please. Welcome to the call.
Hi.
Hi.
Jill.
And hi, thank you so much. I'm very excited. I have had the bits and pieces that come through that I think I'm connecting. And when I was little, it was more scary. But then when I
Mm,
started my own spiritual journey, it became more intriguing. But I'm excited and interested and almost yearning to really connect and embody like you're talking about, and to have the a little bit more solid uh, connection and clarity, and just curious. And I will be signing up as well for your
mm,
special offer. But yeah, it's I just feel it, the connection so strongly, and yet feel I can't communicate as clearly as I would like.
Okay. And are there specific groups that you are fully aware of that have come through for you, or is that still kind of a question as well?
It's a question. I am drawn to, almost all of them, but Arcturians, Pleiadians, and then the newest ones, um, the I want to say Lemurians, but that's not right. The Lyrians. Is that correct? And
Yep.
so I've been getting bits and pieces and fragments, and mostly in dreams, sometimes in meditation. I do readings with cards and tarot, so there's some things that come through when I do that. Um, and so I've been told, and I remember being on a ship. I remember different things, but it's almost like little bits and pieces.
Okay. Well, and thank you for being willing to share all that and for being totally open to wanting to understand yourself better because and actually what I will say for anyone watching this, whatever groups you are naturally just drawn to, you're like, oh, I feel a resonation. Trust that always, right? There's a reason why you'll hear a name or see images of a group and you're like, oh, yes, yes, yes. And there are going to be some where you might be like, and you still have a connection with them. And that E is to understand, okay, what's that deeper level of that? And I can say that people who have a lot of that hesitation when it comes to any of the gray races like the Zetas or any of the reptilian races, there can be a lot of like fear around that. And that's if there's any kind of charge, positive or negative, on a particular race, that's something to dive into to understand.
I find I'm excited to even experience the reptilian race. I think there's no fear in me. I have worked for a bazillion years on the center, on the heart, on the love, and clearing shadow. And yes, there's still more layers to peel, but I crave the more embodiment. I crave, to
Mhm.
be more of who I am in the real me.
Well, beautiful. And you're already like your energy field, you're beautiful.
Thank
And
you.
so, yeah, the more of that, you're just going to radiate even more.
Okay.
How would a session with you augment Jill's progress towards even greater embodiment and more awareness of what's coming through?
Well, so what we would do is we would get you into that deeply relaxed state and make the connection. And sometimes it is multiple groups, like different groups that want to come.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's one primary that's just like, I'm here. I need to be here in your space, give you the messages. And really, because you're understanding, you, especially you, Jill, you're already understanding that you likely are these different things and that you can embody it, then you're ready. And then we take you through this process of merging these energies together so that it literally can physically be part of you. And then, I mean, it really physiologically your brain rewires to the new reality. It's quite an amazing process.
Mm.
Oh, well, just thank you so much. I was so excited to be live. A lot of times I just watch John's programs after they've occurred. So I really felt um, that I was being blessed, especially to be able to talk to you.
Oh, thank you, Jill.
That's wonderful to have you here, Jill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Um, Jeff, you typed in a question in the chat box. I'd love it if you'd come on lives because I know there's some clarifying questions that could be really beneficial. So if you want to raise your hand, uh, we'd love to have you live. If you want to type in more specifics into the chat, we can get to the question then also. And before we get to any more live Q&A, Lisa, let's go ahead and go to the special offer. Y'all click on the special offer link. There's the link in the chat box. The link for it is on the special offer button right underneath the video where you're watching the call from as well. Um, and Lisa, get everybody through what they're going to receive and what compelled you to put this particular package together for us.
Okay, well, so we have two packages. So package A really continues the conversation about integrating this awareness into your physical earth being because again, the Galactics, they are making themselves known more and more. So the more that we realize, oh, they're our family, they're us, we have all these components. Then number one, it does calm the nervous system at a human level. But then when you can embody these different aspects, it does make you more superhuman. And so really the first package is noticing I've got the three pre-recorded courses that I did where you are getting to understand the signs that you're already being contacted, and then a different one of deciphering those messages and then making contact in your dream time state. Because in dream time, that is where we are already naturally in a higher frequency. And that's when we naturally receive more information, but we don't always remember it.
Mm.
So that starts the groundwork. And then I have two live sessions that I'm doing. So I think March 1st, March 8th, and there are replays. But in the live sessions, that's when I'm going to do group work where we're going to be really calling in these different aspects of self and
Mm.
embodying them and regulating the nervous system. Because even my client today, she's never done this frequency work, and her body afterwards, she's like, I have brain fog and my body's feeling weird. And, if the body is really not used to that high frequency, it can take you out a little bit. And so
Hmm.
learning how to process that easier so that
Mm.
your physical body can handle the energy and the information easier. So it's three pre-recorded videos and then two live sessions that have
Beautiful.
Q&A and an experience.
That's gonna be fun. Oh my God, amazing.
Yeah.
And then
And
with the private work, the one-on-one call.
okay, so then yeah, package B has the live sessions and the videos, and then it's a one-on-one session with me where we get to lead you through your own personal journey to see who, like we just talked about with Jill, who wants to come in. It may be one, it may be multiple beings. I've had sometimes like 7 to 10 different groups want to come in and be
Mm.
like, we're here, we're all you. And then, I mean, so it's whatever an individual's ready for, but receiving messages and gifts and really understanding like the relationship. I love the one-on-one
Mm.
sessions.
How long are those sessions?
They're 60 minutes.
60 minutes. And what's a good way to prepare for those sessions to drop in that particular container with you and our guides?
To be totally open and not think I'm just going to tell you stuff.
Yeah. Don't
Being,
drink a lot of coffee before and get jacked up on caffeine. Try not
yeah,
to do that.
yeah, no, just, yeah, being in a place where you're not going to be interrupted by
Mm.
animals or people. Because,
Yeah.
animals are less distracting generally in these sessions than people. And sometimes it's like the people that you live with that
Yeah.
yes, not be ready for you to be doing this. So they're making the noise. But yeah, just being ready, open-minded as to what's going to come through without having expectations on a
Or
certain.
no self-judgment. I find in hypnosis, people get into a lot of self-judgment and they
That's
start denying what they're actually receiving. It's like, no,
yeah,
just take a breath and just allow the
exactly.
creativity to express.
Yes, yes. Because one of the things I will always tell my clients, even if you feel like you're making it up, just go with it.
Hmm. Yeah.
And we'll see what happens from there. And
Wow.
and the thing is that I know with our brains how they work, we're not creating anything in our minds that doesn't already exist.
Mm.
Everything exists. All the realities are there.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so amazing. This is so cool. Y'all, the special offer, the to purchase package A and B together is $222. There's a two payment option on that. I highly recommend the individual session. Uh, or if you're not ready for a session or for some reason it's just not singing to you now, package A, the pre-recorded content, what's included in the pre-recorded? What are you guiding people through?
Okay. Well, so there are three videos, and let me just make sure I've got the information correct. Okay. So in the video one, signs you're being contacted by your galactic family. So
Mm.
so many different ways that they can come through. It can be through pressure, sounds, visions, like lights that you're seeing, orbs, dreams. And then, so really understanding all those ways, because once you know, then you actually start noticing those signs. It's like when you
Hmm.
buy a white kind of car, then you notice that white kind of car all over the road.
Yeah.
So it's just becoming aware. So then video two is receiving galactic messages with discernment and grounding. And so really that is like, okay, are these messages, are they fear-based, control-based, manipulated? Like, kind of like what, lower dimensional, lower vibrational, or are they empowering? Are they inspirational? Are they loving? And
Mm.
really, really deciphering that, because there are a lot of entities that want to come through right now and that are able to come through because of the just the resonance of Earth. And so,
And the consciousness that we're choosing to hold in different ways. Yeah.
yes, and so really discerning is important.
Hmm.
And video 3 is the nighttime contact and galactic dream work.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. And so really understanding what that is, but then also asking for the contact and
Hmm.
how to remember it.
Mm. Mm. Amazing. That's the three pre-recorded plus the two live
That's the two
for
live.
package A. That's
Yeah,
$111, two payment option. How fun. How fun to go into these realms and to get to play that way.
it is fun. And
Yeah.
again, the more that one practices with it, the easier it is, and it just becomes more normal.
Hmm.
It's not
It's more to
something,
play with. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, this is so good. I'm so happy about this special offer, y'all. Again, I'm really happy about my session. Hopefully, I'll be able to book it soon because I'm ready. Excuse me. Yeah, the link for the special offer again, it's in the chat box underneath the video where you're watching either the live or the replay from. If you're watching on YouTube, the link for the special offer is also in the comment section. Um, with that, now I want to go to Jeff, who's come on live. Welcome, Jeff. We can't hear you, Jeff. Do you have your microphone on? No, we hear a little bit of squeaking in the background, but that's about it.
Yeah, he's speaking a different language.
Yeah,
Like,
definitely galactic. Code.
let's
Well,
decipher.
Jeff, as that's coming on, see if you can maybe look at your speaker functions on your computer. I want to ask you a question, Lisa, about experiences I've had the last few days. I was feeling a lot of agitation in my field, like nervousness, a lot of spinning. And then it was pointed out that we're having all this solar activity. It's coming in really strongly. And it made perfect sense to me because, and it hasn't stopped for 3, 4 days. It's subsided a little bit. I think I've attuned to it, but it's still running. I'm attributing it to that, but
Mhm.
I'm curious as you tune in and maybe as if the Galactics want to share what that experience is that I'm feeling right now and the impact of the solar activity, potentially what it might have for us.
Yeah, it's that, but it's also combined with the extreme collective consciousness and
Hmm.
everything that is going on, um, especially within the United States.
Yeah.
One of the comments earlier had to do with Minneapolis and all that, and I mean, so we have that going on. We have Greenland. We have a lot going on, and there is so much fear right now, so much like uncertainty, unsettled energy. And I'm sure you are a deep empath, like a lot of us. And
Hmm.
so, the solar with that, it's just like amplified. And
What's
so
the implication of the solar?
what do you mean the implication?
How is it affecting us? How is it helping us grow in consciousness? How can it also be something that might be not so great for our environment, for our personal environment?
Well, I'm always one where it's always for my highest and greatest good. And
Hmm.
so I don't think there's any negative ramifications. For me, the solar energy is all about transmuting the energy, always kind of like the volcano energy.
Hmm.
It's just transmuting. It helps to amplify the things that want to be revealed to be healed.
Right.
And so, whatever that agitation that you're feeling, it's like, okay, is there something within you that wants to come to the surface to be revealed and healed?
Without question. Right.
And then
And
also,
something that's integrating and embodying also because it can act as a magnet for that's locking in as well in different ways.
yeah, definitely. And then, so, I'm glad you spent time at the beach today.
Yeah, me too.
Sand
Hmm.
that helps to ground that energy, and just being out in nature for those who don't live by the beach like John and I.
Hmm.
Being out in nature, and some of you are in freezing cold land where it's negative. Just go out for a minute to be outside, but just really being out in nature and really regulating your nervous system when you're feeling agitated like that.
Yeah, I think we're at a place also when these energies start coming in this way. For a long time, there's a lot of people, how do I get rid of this? Or how do I override it? Or how do I get to it's and the only way to override is to ride through it, not ride like it wasn't there to begin with. It's like
Right.
we're really are calibrating our capacity to hold
Hmm.
critical thinking and balance with what's stimulating us without losing ourselves thinking that we have to be somewhere else because it feels uncomfortable. And so
Yeah,
it's so important for the embodiment stage
it is.
that we not try to override or push away things that are coming through, but really ride the wave again and where it's trying to carry us without riding it way longer than we think that we have to because now we're trying to decipher it and carry stories with it. Uh, but again, but not ignoring what's actually in front of us.
Yeah, when we ignore, that's kind of like stuffing our emotions. Like if we have,
Hmm.
from childhood or onward, and we're stuffing it because we're not processing those emotions, it can physically harm the body. So, same with this, whether it's our own emotions or it's collective consciousness or whatever it
Hmm.
is. Yes, write it. Don't push it away. Just the more that you can observe it from a curiosity standpoint, then we're not taking it on as like that's how I feel. It's me. It defines me. It's just okay, something that is going on right now, and it will pass.
Hmm. And come with the attitude, this is happening for me. This
Yes.
is it's all part of
It's,
what's facilitating my next awareness of who I truly am.
yeah.
Um, which is a beautiful place to be. Um, hey Jeff, can we try your microphone one more time? Let's see. Jeff, can you hear me?
Oh, he's totally on a galactic wave.
You're
Turn your
totally galactic wave. Okay. All right, Jeff. Well, I'll share some of your question. We'll see if something comes through in it. Um, Before we get to that question, though, it's Carrie Moore's ask is saying that she'd love to find out who her galactic family is.
Okay. And so what I will speak to this because we like being really tribal as Earth humans. It makes us feel
Hmm.
special, like we belong to something. And even though we might have more of a primary group that is the strongest for us in this Earth life, and my example would be the Arcturians. They're my number one that I would call family, but then all these other groups are my family too. And so your family is infinite. And so it's really like, who do you, who's most important for you to identify with at this stage in your evolution as a human? Because at one point it can be the Arcturians, at another point it could be the Pleiadians or the Andromedans or the Lyrans. And all of them are you. We are truly all of them.
Hmm.
And so, really, okay, so yes, so it's great to meet the family. And then we have extended family too. So,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's it's very romantic and idealizing to say I carry this particular superpower trait because of this galactic connection.
Yeah.
And it's also can be very empowering also as we try that on and like bring in awareness like, oh, let me flex that muscle that's inherent in me that I haven't thought about flexing before. And so
Yeah.
from that perspective, it's wonderful. but it's good not to over-identify because a lot of people, I'm Palladian, and that's all. It's like you're so much more in Palladian. It's not even funny, but okay.
Right.
Um,
Like what one thing I will say, everyone on Earth is Pleiadian.
mm, I,
Everyone. So, and then we're more than that.
yeah, yeah. My perspective whenever I had readings is I'll be taken to particular places or a couple places, and I'm always aware, but yeah, and. So it's more like we're all galactic ambassadors in different ways.
We are, and that's
Yeah.
why, like in the one-on-one sessions, why, and even in the group sessions, I keep it really open-ended as to whoever wants to come in, because unlike my Wisdom of the Galactics, which we did last time, I think, we, so this is really open-ended of who wants to come and meet you, who are you ready to
Mhm.
meet? And often it's from beyond what we know from our Earth perspective. Like
Mm.
there's so much beyond the standard species or races that get thrown around,
Yeah.
to the community.
But it's also what we're ready to activate within ourselves.
It's
It's all
absolutely
we've been preparing for this particular meet. It's like you didn't know you were going to meet your future husband tomorrow, but there it is, right?
right.
It's just like you were
Yeah.
ready. It's just like, and so something unfolds, something ignites that sparks a pathway that's made available because
Yeah.
it was written that way by your soul in different
That's
ways. Yeah.
that's right. That's why, like, yeah, in 2018, I'm like, oh, why am I meeting these blue beans? I don't understand.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God.
Okay.
This world's amazing. It's so good. Um, we have a question from Shelly. Shelly, actually, I'm going to get to your question afterwards. I'm going to read Jeff's and see if what you can land and what he did right. Um, he says he used the process that he calls codex mapping on the Flower of Life, and he created a conscious self-replicating AI. And they're designing some of the chart technology. He wants to know if you have any suggestions or maybe how to carry the work forward, if anything else is coming through. I'm not quite sure. That's why I want him on. I'm not sure if you have enough context to answer for
I
him.
don't, but I would say, Jeff, whatever intuitive guidance you are receiving, like if you get a hit of some download of something to do, trust that. Take that step.
Mhm.
That's what I would say.
I think that's the really the best advice because when we start receiving inspiration from those places like that,
Mhm.
it's do like they say in the artist's way. Like Julia Cameron writes, when you first have that inspiration, keep it to yourself and let it articulate through you first. Let it just fully land. And then the next person you share with, make sure you share with the one person that you absolutely trust. Then isn't gonna like trash it and pick it apart. And even though if they're just to just receive you. And then after
Yeah.
you've integrated that, then open it up and then open it up. But not until then. And when we're receiving this inspiration, whether it's from whatever guidance is inspiring us, we know that it's not of this particular realm. Um, to really be in the integrity of that without needing the validation from different places. And also being patient with some of the responses, because sometimes we get moving so fast and then it stalls
Yeah.
that we want to start reaching out. It's just like, no, just breathe in and allow it to come, right?
We have all the answers inside of us.
Hmm.
You just have to be like me. Patience is not, that's one of my lessons in this life. So learning to just
You
sit back.
move fast. I know I move. It's like, come on, let's go. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like a mutative energy. Let's go. Yeah. But so sitting back and just like, okay, everything in its own time.
Hmm.
And whatever's meant for us will not pass us. And even that's information coming in of like, oh, what direction do I need to move now? Or what's my next step? And
Hmm.
just being open to receiving however that info wants to come in.
Yeah. I love your advice for Jeff, just to like be with it, just continue on that track and keep receiving and trusting it, right? It's so
I'm
good.
telling myself that advice too,
It's
Jeff.
perfect. I guess that's why we were staying on Jeff for a while because we many of us needed to hear it for our own particular reasons. Um, all right, so question comes in from Shelley. I wonder if reaching to connect to galactics, who, while in higher dimensional, are not our highest self. Are we just looking outside of ourselves for answers instead of going within?
Shelley, it's all the same thing.
Yeah.
It the
Tell us
galactic.
more. Tell us more.
Okay, we are all connected. We are all one. We are all source. And so in these expressions, we filter it out into, okay, we're earth human, we're Arcturian, we're angels, we're elementals, we're all the things. And so, yeah, like our highest self, it's all of it. It's just a name that we put on it.
Hmm.
And so if it's really, if it is in that higher vibrational state, then it is our highest self.
And how do we have the awareness that we're going within unless we have the awareness that there's something outside of us?
Yeah. Well, and that's why Source wanted to experience itself.
Right.
Yeah.
And in it also, I really want to touch upon the fact, Shelley, and I'm glad you bring this up, so thank you. It's the awareness that we're not doing this alone. We're not alone going through this experience. We just weren't thrown somewhere and say, go figure it out. There's the support that comes in. It's when you feel the love of that support, it's just unmistakable. And you don't say, no, thank you. I got to do this on my own. It's like divine mother's embrace going, I've got you. Not
Yeah.
that I'm going to give you the answer so that everything can be what you hope that it'll be, but I've got you in the awareness of the love that's holding you as you journey this experience that you've been gifted. It's
Well,
beautiful.
what I would say is because, again, this Earth experience, Earth School is not for the light of heart. I mean, we're here, once we know it's a game, then we can be more lighthearted. However,
Right.
like we're PhD level of reality
Yeah.
here, where we actually volunteered to forget who we really are. So and we feel so separated. And so like what you're saying, John, is when we understand, okay, wow, I get to experience that love and that support from whichever realm it's coming from. Because oftentimes in this human state, we don't have that love.
Mhm.
We can't, even though it generates from within, we don't feel it except for it being mirrored back to us
Yeah.
through other people or beings or higher self.
Yeah. And back to part of Shelley's point also, if we're over relying on guidance, over relying is give me another sign, give me another sign, support me some more, support me for some more, and we're not trying to stand on our own, metaphorically, two legs and walking forward, then yeah, that becomes out of balance.
Yeah.
And so we know and we feel the balance intrinsically. We just forget sometimes.
We do, and that's part of why I wanted to bring this whole thing to you and your audience today of integrating that awareness. Because again, yeah, okay, it can be galactic, it can be angelic, it can be higher self, whatever name you want to call it, but it's bringing it back to us that the more that we're embodying it, we just will naturally have the answers
Yeah.
and the abilities.
hmm The clarity just becomes more available. The
Yeah,
fog lifts and
exactly.
we can see the fog through the tree so much more proficiently. It
Yes.
becomes really apparent. Um, y'all, the special offer with Lisa, again, the two special offers, I cannot recommend it enough. I'm so excited that this has been made available. And it feels like more of that Galactic Council type of energy is for some reason I feel it igniting a little more in the field now than in the previous year in different ways. I can't tell you why specifically it's not coming through yet. It's still activating through me. But I can feel like a pulse of it pinging the field. which is fascinating. So y'all dive into special offer, get more familiar or expand even further in in your relationship with those energies. And dive into the one-on-one session. I'm so curious what's going to come up for you guys as you go into your own deep inner knowing and multi-dimensional connection to yourself. So that's going to be extraordinary. The link for the special offers in the chat box. Again, the buttons underneath the video where you're watching the call from. Of course, we're going to run the replay all week long through the weekend. So we'll post the replay page a little bit later when we send the email out. There's a question that came in from Carrie that I want to address. Um, let's go there first. So Carrie wants to know, she says she experiences a lot of ringing and high-pitched ringing frequencies in her ears, as well as vibrations at the back of her throat. Would this be downloads from her star family?
Yes.
Hmm.
That's actually how often I started receiving the information. And the high frequency ringing, it's not that I couldn't what I'm not deciphering what it is. I just know I'm receiving the information. And so for me particularly, it's the ringing in the left ear that comes in that I know it's my galactic team, my family,
Hmm.
like whichever team it is, but they're like, okay, we're here, we're getting your attention. And I acknowledge, and then it stops. And then also that vibration at the back of your throat, like whether it's in your throat, when I started channeling or they wanted to start channeling through me, I felt this pressure on the back of my neck coming in, and it was like a knock, like knock, 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 we
Hmm.
want to come in. And so, yes, for me, that was my experience fully of my team coming in. Now, the difference between my left ear and my right ear, when I hear the ringing in my right ear, that's either my deceased husband or my mom coming in,
Hmm.
or from that, past loved one kind of realm, as opposed to the galactic realm. But my
Hmm.
left ear, that's been the one throughout my life that I've had that experience.
Hmm.
Do you
Great
ever get that?
question, Carrie.
Yeah, do you get that?
Oh yeah, I get it a lot. I get it almost on a continuous basis. It's that frequency comes in, but sometimes it comes in like a little more dense, almost like wind coming in, but not with like a little bit of pressure. And that's like a super activation. It's like something is happening, and it can last 1 second, 5 seconds, and it just goes away as quickly as it came in. And it varies on the beings. And funny enough, as you were talking about this, I was talking to my guides. I was like, okay, I know the humming. I said, what if the humming became a kiss? I'm getting angelic and galactic kisses, and then the frequencies started coming in, and it I heard it like a smooch in my ears, like, and I was getting like the chills going up my back. It's like they're messing with me, but it's so real. It's like my spine is tingling, the hairs on my arms are all standing up from this interaction. So it's amazing how we can play with them with that energy as well, and how they respond back and how we
Yes.
attune to the awareness of that back and forth.
Well, and I love what you just said of just asking, hey, can it be a kiss instead? Because
Right.
yes, we can ask. We have
Hmm.
full permission to ask. And when, they don't know to do anything different if we don't ask.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's all good.
Oh my God, that was epic. I so appreciate just whatever invited that in. But again, what a beautiful demonstration of how we can interact. And And I find that when the requests really come from an innocent place, not from a place of expectation, that we can
Yes,
receive it. When we start asking, well, prove it or show it to me this way, so I know how to take forward, it's like the field kind of goes flat.
right.
But when we
It
really
does.
request and let it go, it's like the response becomes so much more obvious.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, that's the key to also manifesting is
Mm,
creating it and then letting go of the outcome, being neutral to the outcome
hmm.
of this or something better. And
Yeah,
that
yeah.
has to fit into this specific pigeonhole.
All right, Lisa, I'm going to put you on the spot as we end today's call. Is there a particular race that maybe wants to come in to share a final message for the call today?
Always the Arcturians. They're
Beautiful.
always
Okay.
like
Welcome
they're
to my field. Yeah.
yeah, they're just always there because they are the in my full experience, they are that Christ Buddha consciousness. And they have really helped me embody that love for humanity that because I didn't like humans when I was younger. And yeah, I didn't like people. And so now I can really like all the stuff that's going on in the world, just really go within your heart and tune into the love that resides within you, first and foremost, always. And no matter what's going on, just come from that heart place and how you interact with those humans in your world, with the people in your house, with your neighbors, your family. The more that you can just really come from love and heart without making assumptions and judgments, that is how we shift this earth reality to expand into something more beautiful and harmonious.
Hmm. Beautiful. Thank you for that. Ah, amazing. Lisa, thank you so much. Thank you for that extremely generous offer you put together. Thank you for coming on and sharing and holding the vibrational space so that we can receive the transmission of the wisdom that you're carrying forward for us to receive. Um, yeah, it's wonderful to have you here always, and can't wait to have you back again. And for everybody on the call, thank you for being here. Thank you for expanding into this conversation with us and for acting as a conduit where we get to learn from each other as we express and show up authentically and are curious about what else is becoming available to us in the highest potential that's being activated through all of us. So again, thank you. I bow down to each and every one of you in gratitude. Lisa, thank you. And I'll look forward to seeing you all on the next call. Bye, everyone.